Good? Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu rasulillah. Wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man sa'ara sabilihi ila yawmiddin amma ba'd. So tonight, inshallah ta'ala, we will continue discussing the book Al-Mulaqis Al-Fiqhi by Shaykh Salih Fawzan, Hafidullah ta'ala. And in the last lesson that we were discussing, we're still covering concerning matters regarding ahkam al-usra, so matter that relates to the family law in Islam. And of those things that we had covered last, where he started discussing matters regarding rada', regarding breastfeeding of a child, and we completed that discussion as to how many breastfeeding would be considered to be enough for a child to be considered like the mother, or to consider to be the child of that lady, and also the ahkam that pertains to this. Though, and as for tonight, inshallah ta'ala, we'll be discussing another matter regarding matters regarding al-usra, which is ahkam hadana. So discussing concerning matters regarding hadana, which is of those matters that relates to the well-being and the caring of the child. So inshallah ta'ala, we'll start that discussion bi'awnillahi ta'ala.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah ala ma'alif hafidahullah, chapter 2, page 489, title Custody. Jurisprudently, custody is the protection of a child or a mentally ill adult and the like, preventing any harm from befalling him, bringing him up through seeing his physical and moral needs. The wisdom behind custody is manifest. The child and those in his care, case lacking discernment, such as the insane and the lunatic person, are unable to manage their own interests. Therefore, they need a guardian to take care of them by protecting them from any harm, bringing about whatever is useful for them, and bringing them up in the proper way.
So the author, Hafidullah, he started first by discussing concerning this new topic regarding al-hadana, so matter regarding concerning that the focus is on the child. So hadana is those ahkam that relates to the child regarding, as they say, child custody. So which of the family member is most suitable for to look after the child if there's certain either a split between husband and wife, or there's a disagreement regarding who's the next of kin for that child. So the author, Hafidullah, he discussed concerning hadana, regarding concerning what is meant by this lugatan, and also shar'an, regarding what is hadana. So it mentioned وَهِيَ الْحِفْ الصَّغِيرُ, so is looking after the well-being of a youngster, of a child. نحو أما يضر, regarding those things that would be harmful to the child, وتربيته, and also regarding the child's cultivation and their training, وبعمل المصالح, and also trying to focus regarding that which is beneficial for that child regarding his badan, regarding his physical development and betterment, and also thing which is ma'nawiyya, and also thing which is spiritual. So then he mentioned, so the ulama mentioned regarding concerning this matter regarding hadana, that it relates to, in this case, more so regarding a child. But we are concerned, whereas the child that requires to be cared after by an adult, and also that adult is from one who's that adult is a family member. So they mentioned regarding concerning that is looking after the well-being of the child, which is that child which is below the age of puberty. So the child is still below the age of puberty. It is, as we'll discuss, then they should be cared for by an adult. Aywa?
The Sharia, Islamic law, has decreed custody, and it is in fact a divine mercy through which the affairs of the wards are conducted, a way to do them the power of good. If the wards are left without being taken care of, they will be lost. As Islam is the religion of mercy, solidarity, and consolation, it enjoins Muslims to show mercy to them and take care of them and solace them. Islam also forbids Muslims from leaving such persons without a guardian and makes it obligatory upon Muslims to provide for them. Moreover, it is a right of the ward to be cared for by his relatives, and it is at the same time a duty upon the guardian to take care of him, as in the case of guardianship.
So they mentioned regarding concerning, as for the hukum, he mentioned regarding concerning the Sharia of Islam, that it's there to look after concerning the well-being of a person, and that also a person includes also a child. So you might find certain circumstances where a child is required to be looked after due to regarding concerning split in the marriage or difference between spouses. So they mentioned regarding, so we have this bab or this discussion is clarified regarding who has the right regarding custody of the child. So they also from what the Sheikh has mentioned that also for this, as for the hukum of al-hadana, regarding hukum al-hadana, that the ulama agree upon regarding the ulama agree upon it is something which is wajib. So it is wajib that the child be cared for by a guardian. This is something which is wajib, where that as they mentioned, the hadith which is mursal, la darar wa la dirar, that no one should be harmed nor any harm be placed upon others. So with this also would include a child. So as for the matters that would pertain to the hadana, the well-being of the child, it looks into matter regarding the child, that one is able, the person to fulfill this duty, that they're able to fulfill that regarding concern the child basic needs. Those basic needs will include regarding that the child is providing food, clothing, shelter. So those basic, so food, clothing, shelter is provided for the child. Also, it will include regarding matters regarding the child's tarbiyah, regarding their cultivation, which will include concern that the child is taught certain manners, and so as the child is taught certain manners, and also the child is is given a certain level of education. So also the child is given a certain level of education where they are sent to school to learn the basic things regarding what is needed regarding their education, and also for the person to protect the child regarding any type of harm. So make sure that the child, that they're in a safe environment. So they ensure that the child is in a safe environment regarding that there's no one or they're in an environment that could be harmful or dangerous to the child. So these are the things that are looked into regarding the well-being of the child. So matters regarding the child's basic need, which is food, clothing, shelter. Also of those things regarding matters regarding the child's tarbiyah and their education is also attended to. Also matter regarding that if the child is in a Muslim home, also their spiritual development regarding their deen is also taught to the child or facilitated, and also the child's general well-being regarding that they're given they're given a form of education. So these are of those things that the person who is fulfilling this responsibility, these are of the areas that they try to ensure that these things are provided. Aywa. Then he discussed concern as for wilaya regarding a child, that it falls into two areas. So wilaya, which is concerning that governorship, or look at the one who's responsible for the child, that it falls into two areas regarding concerning that matter regarding that in certain cases that the responsibility is given to the mother. So at times regarding that the child, that they are put in the care of their mother with certain condition regarding concerning that so at times is upon the mother provide certain things, and that's concerning babul hadana, that the mother is given priority. Also in matters regarding radha, that we have discussed previously, that the mother also, she is given priority in that area. So those areas regarding the child early years, then the mother is given priority. Then also another area regarding that at times where the father is given priority. So at times the father is given priority regarding the child, and that's concerning that regarding matter that relates to the child's regarding the child being mal, regarding the child being maintained financially, that's upon the father. And also regarding matters regarding a nikah, more so regarding a female, that the father is the one who will be the wali of his daughter. So the father that at times is giving priority, especially a child regarding their financial responsibility, and also matter relating to his children being married off. And also at times the mother is giving is put forward, or the mother, the more precedence is given to the mother, and that's regarding the early years of the child. So Islam put a balance regarding at times the mother is put forward, and at times the father is put forward. Aywa.
Custody is obligatory upon guardians in the following order. The person most entitled to have the custody of a child is the mother. In this concern, Imam Wafaquddin ibn Qudama, may Allah have mercy on him, says, if the husband and wife are legally separated and they have a child, ward or insane, whether male or female, her mother has the best right to have custody if she fulfills the conditions necessary for the person to have custody over the child. This is the view maintained by Imam Malik and the scholars known for personal interpretative judgments, and it has not come to my knowledge that there is a contrary opinion.
Hey, so they discussed concerning that, so of the thing that is discussed regarding hadana, that child custody, that they said the overarching objective, so the overall objective is what is best for the child, whether male or female. So regarding concerning hadana, matter regarding child custody, so the main thing is the focus on the child, and then to see which of the candidates are most suitable for a child within the family unit. So within the family unit, so the family unit are giving priority. So it could be a time the mother, the father, could be the aunt, could be, so a family member will take that responsibility. So, but the overarching, we said that objective is that which is best for the child. So the ulama, rahimahullah, of past and also of present, they will still discuss in each of the madhahib concerning who is most suitable. That you find texts more so give precedent to the mother and also to the khala. So you find text more specified regarding the mother when she's the more suitable candidate to take responsibility, and also at time that she can be removed. So you have a discussion between ulama as to the sequence of order regarding who are the ones who are the more suitable candidates, if there's a difference. So the mention regarding concerning these cases will be that adana cases where what would be discussed now, if there's a difference between who should take custody of the child. So you have a difference regarding, for example, between a divorce, a couple that have been divorced, husband and wife have divorced, and they have a dispute regarding who the child should remain with. Now, so this order is to kind of somewhat give us a system as to who are the more suitable candidates. Now, with certain criteria to be mentioned. So they kind of somewhat give us an order or a list regarding these are the more suitable candidates. Regarding the child, so the first of those that they mention, the mother. So regarding of the child, and this is said a child below the age of 7. So in this case that are being discussed, so you have cases where the child is below the age 7, or the case where the child, male or female, that they are above the age of 7. So what is being discussed at this moment is cases where the child is below the age of 7. The child is below the age of 7. So in those cases, that we have a separation between spouses, father and mother, their children involved. Some of those children are below the age, or the children are below the age of 7. As for who's deserving more rights to that child to remain with them, so the mother will be the first in line if she has not yet remarried. So the fact that she's still single, then she owes, she's the one who has priority for the children to remain with them. So whether the husband want to contest this, it has to be, as we'll discuss concerning, he has to have a solid reason to able to can remove that right from her. So they said, so first in priority regarding those cases will be the mother, and as the author rahimullah will mention regarding concern on this matter, that there's generally concerning ijma' between the ulama regarding the mother, if that she is the most suitable candidate, and also he'll mention the hadith that more so that of the father, and in general. So that's concerning, and the ulama mentioned concerning that and ijma', we have of those of the past, we have Ibn Qudama, we have Ibn Abdul Barr, we have Ibn Qayyim, that the mother, whether the child is a male or female, until she has remarried, she's the most suitable candidate. Aywa.
A woman has no right of custody of her child from a previous marriage when she marries another person, and the child's custody in such a case automatically devolves to the next most eligible person. This is because once a woman came to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, O Messenger of Allah, my womb was a vessel to this son of mine. My breasts were a means of quenching his thirst, and my lap was a place of protection for him. Yet his father has divorced me and wants to take him away from me. The Prophet ﷺ said, you have more right to him as long as you do not marry another person. Related by Imam Ahmed, Abu Dawood and Al-Hakim, who deems it a Sahih authentic hadith. This hadith signifies that the mother has the best right to have custody of the child if her husband, the child's father, divorces her and wishes to have him under his custody. It also signifies that if the mother marries another person, she is no more entitled to be the child's guardian.
Yes, the Sheikh, he mentions a lot of discussion regarding concerning that, so mentioned that cases where there's difference. Then you might have another case regarding regarding the second scenario, if both parents agree that, for example, the mother and father decide that the child is 4 years old, but both of them decide between themselves that the child will remain with the father, then that's okay, because it's an agreement between themselves. So in cases where there's a difference as to whom the child should remain with, then these other rules now come into play. Regarding the mother, then she has more right until she has remarried. But ultimately, so as mentioned regarding that, no, she has more right until she has remarried. If she remarried, then she still have a right, but she's not the top of the list. So the child could remain with her, but she's not top of the list. It could go to someone else. So I said it's not at the end, as some mention, Sheikh Abdul Rahman Yasir Rahimullah mentioned. As for the tartib, I said it goes back to the primary focus is what's best for the child. So the mother might remarry, but she may, compared to the father or another family member, she may still be in a position or situation may be more solid and more suitable for the child than that of the father. So yes, it's not that so that she becomes where other also may be deserving of the child, but if her situation may be better settled for the child, the judge may rule that the child remain with her. For example, the mother, she settled, but she has her own place. The child is in a proper school, have a routine. The father, she's involved with the child very much. The father, he doesn't have a place, he doesn't have a job, and he is bunking with a friend in a one room. Clear? Or he rents a one room. Then he's not the most suitable candidate, because the situation is not stable. So yes, the mother loses being priority, but also the child could still be with her due to certain factors. So I mentioned the hadith authentic regarding concerning this matter. So as we said, that these ahkam that is being mentioned now is case where there is the difference between who the child should remain with. If both parties agree, mutual agreement, that the child remain with this one or that one, then that holds. That holds. Aywa.
The mother takes precedence in having the child in her custody since she is tenderer towards the child than his closest relative. None shares her closeness of bond of blood relationship except the child's father, yet his tenderness is less than hers. In case the child's father is entitled to have custody over the child, he would let his present wife take care of him. The child's mother has the best right than the husband's wife to have the child under her custody. In this connection, Ibn Abbas, may Allah have mercy on him, once said to a man, the mother's smell, bed and lap are better for your son until he reaches the age of discretion and is given choice as to which of his parents he wants to stay with. In this regard, Shaykh al-Islam...
So it shows regarding like Ibn Abbas that he mentioned regarding concern of these matters, which is of the qadi, or the one to look to see what's best for the child. So he mentioned regarding concern that Ibn Abbas that kind of somewhat more inclined towards at times that the mother is best based upon certain factors. Maybe due to certain factors, she might still hold the right for the child to remain with her compared to others due to them not having a stable situation. Aywa.
In this regard, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah says the mother has more right to have custody over her child than the father, since she is closer to the child than his father, as she knows best about his nourishment, carrying him, lulling him to sleep, and giving him things to play with and the like. Moreover, the mother knows better about her child and is more merciful, capable, patient with him, her than anyone else. Therefore, she is specifically designated, according to the Sharia, to have custody over her undiscriminating child. Moreover,
For example, that Sheikh Khalid Mashayikhi, Hafidullah, that in his explanation of Azad, that he mentioned, that will come maybe later again, but he mentioned regarding that in our Qissa, our surah is mentioned by Ibn Taymiyyah Rahimullah, that a dispute between a child regarding both parent, which child, so went to the Qadi, so the Qadi gave the child the right to make the choice. He was above the Ghulam, a young boy, so asked the boy to make that choice between which of the parents he should go with. So the child, he inclined and went towards the father. So the child went towards the father. Then, so the judge said, then the child remained with the father. The child above the age of 7 says, I should remain with the father. Then the mother said to the judge, asked the child why he choose his father. So the judge said, okay, child, why you choose your dad? She said, now as for my dad, that he leaves me to play with the other kids, to play in the streets, or to leave me to play with the kids all the time. As for my mother, that's the child said, as for my mother, she ensured that I go to school. So then the judge said, okay, then you should go to your mother. Then go to your mother. So you might find, so it said, no, that it was said, no, the general objective is what? What is best for the child. So in that case, the father could have somewhat said, no, left the child to go on road. You understand? Leave the child to just be on road. You understand? But as for the mother, she can somewhat have a routine. You go to school, da. So the father was somewhat, you understand? You see, the father is very easygoing. You understand? So in that case, then the judge, he ruled that the child returned back to the mother. So said, that's the general objective regarding what's best for the child. And these objectives regarding the child well-being is being fulfilled.
However, when a mother's right to the custody of her child is lost, it devolves to her mother, the child's maternal grandmothers in ascending lineage, according to their closeness to the child. This is because they are regarded as the child's mother, for they are the persons who have begot the child's mother, and whose mercy to the world is more ensured than others. Then the father, to whom the child's existence is ascribed, is given precedence over other relatives concerning the custody of his child after the child's maternal grandmothers, for he is closer and more loving to him than others. After that, the right of the custody of the child devolves to the paternal grandmothers, for they are among the child's agnant relatives. They are preferred to grandfathers, for when they are some persons in the same degree of relation to the child, the woman is more entitled to take precedence, for she is closer to the child. This is the same as in the case of the father and the mother. The right of custody devolves then to the child's paternal grandfathers according to their closeness to the child, for they are regarded as the ward's father. Then the right of custody devolves to mothers of grandfathers, mother of the paternal grandfather, then mother of the paternal great-grandfather, for they relate to the ward by her great-grandfather, and they have begotten the ward's grandfather. Thus, the ward is regarded as part of their lineage. After that, the ward's sisters have this right of custody as of the ward, for they relate to him/her by both either parents. So the full sister is given precedence over half sisters, for she has priority in inheritance.
So some of these cases that they mentioned regarding who has priority, there's no per se clear text regarding who's in line. So what they sometimes use as a guide is regarding concerning matters regarding mirat, regarding inheritance. Who's closer to you in inheritance? You can use it as a guide. So you have a few cases regarding concerning wal khala that you have nas are mentioned so. But as for others, is more so regarding ijtihad from the ulama regarding use as a scale as a system regarding closeness in relation based upon the system of inheritance. Aywa.
In that way you just mentioned, the maternal great-grandfather, they're going to be old. How are they going to look after a child?
Sometimes there is a scale that is used. That's just a scale to measure. That bear in mind that, for example, in days back, you understand, even grandparents may be still young in their 50s. You with me? So sometimes I find ourselves, sometimes they, said it's based upon, it's a scale of who's closest in relation based upon mirath. But also said this is some of the shurut that are some of the guidelines that are something that should be in place. There's other things also that would be factored in. So the person may be, yes, they may be too old. You understand? That may be a factor where they may lose that right because of those, as we discussed, mawane, things that will be factors that will discount them as being suitable candidates. Other factors to be discussed. But it's something to use, something to work with. Aywa?
The half-maternal sister comes next in having the right of the ward's custody, for she relates to her mother, who is given precedence over the father as far as the right of custody is concerned, then the half-paternal sister. However, some scholars maintain a reasonable opinion that the half-paternal sister takes precedence over the maternal one, for the position of authority is for the father's side. They also say that the paternal father is more entitled to inheritance than the maternal sister, since she is regarded as a full sister in case the full sister is absent. The custody of the child then devolves to maternal aunts for their relation to the ward's mother. In this regard, it is narrated in the two authentic books of Al-Bukhari and Muslim that the Prophet ﷺ said, the maternal aunt is of the same status as the mother. However, the mother's full sister takes precedence, then the mother's maternal sister, then the mother's paternal sister, as in the sister's case.
Yes, so the more explicit hadith regarding is concerning the mother that discussed regarding al-um, and also regarding al-khala bimanzil al-um. Those are the more explicit hadith regarding. As for everything, as for the other members that have been mentioned, so you have the mother, you have khala, you have the father. Then the ulama kind of somewhat to give us like a table to work with, give us a table to work with, kind of regarding who's most suitable. Aywa.
The paternal aunts have the right of custody for their relation to the ward's father, who comes after the mother as far as the right of custody is concerned. In this regard, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, may Allah have mercy on him, says, the paternal aunt is more entitled to the right of the custody of the ward than the maternal aunt. The same is true with the paternal female relatives who take precedence over the maternal ones, for the father has the upper hand, and so the same will be with his close relatives. The mother takes precedence over the father in having the custody of the child, for she is the best one to see the child's interest than anyone else. In this concern, the lawgiver gave precedence to the maternal aunt of Hamza's daughter over her paternal aunt Safiya. For the latter did not claim the custody of the ward, while Jafar, the husband of the ward's maternal aunt, claimed it on behalf of his wife, the ward's maternal aunt. Thus the Prophet ﷺ judged that Hamza's daughter is to be in the custody of her maternal aunt, while she, the aunt, was absent. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, may Allah have mercy on him, also says, all the principles of the Sharia approve that the father's relatives are to take precedence over those of the mother in having custody of the ward. Thus, whoever does the opposite breaches the principles and the Sharia.
Isn't the overall? Hey, let's consider Aywa.
After the ward's paternal aunts, the right of custody devolves to the ward's brother's daughters, then to the sister's daughters, then to the paternal uncle's daughters, then to the paternal aunt's daughters, then to the rest of the closest adherent relatives to the ward. This must be according to their relation to the ward. The closer takes precedence as follows: brothers, their sons, paternal uncles, then their cousins. If the ward is female, the person who is entitled to have her custody must be one of her mahrams. If he is not from her mahrams, he should entrust her to some trustworthy woman who he chooses for the ward.
Yeah, that's the end of it.
That's the end, yeah.
Yes, that's concerning us now, even concerning this matter regarding if it's a female, that the child is a female, that it is more suitable that she be in the presence of other female. Now, not even if you have, so the Sharia is very, look into this matter, or put interest in this matter regarding that, children regarding their well-being, and not put in vulnerable situations. Now, not put in vulnerable situation, especially concerning a girl. So that's concerning, as you mentioned, regarding of those who are to put forward as the more suitable candidate from the family members as to who is the one that can take the right of being looking after the child by way of child custody. Then inshallah ta'ala you'll now discuss the next matter. أيوة من الموانع الحضانة.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. قال المؤلف حفظه الله. Chapter 3, causes preventing custody.
As I mentioned, as mawana. So these are things which is the reason that we call prevent a person from being a candidate for looking after a child.
The right of custody may be taken away due to the following reasons. Slavery. A slave is not allowed to have the custody of a ward, for custody is a position of authority to which a slave is not entitled. This is because a slave is always busy serving his master and totally devoted to his benefits. Disobedience.
So the first one regarding, I mentioned that, so that will go concerning that min mawana, of those things that will disbar a person from being, having that responsibility of caring for a child, of those things that they'll mention are riq. So the child, if that person is non-free slave person, then they are disqualified. Even though you find that the Zahiriyya as well, the Malikiyya, all that a person can still be confirmed as regarding that child custody, even if they are a slave. That's what the Zahiriyya, they said, the umum, the general text, doesn't distinguish between a free and a non-free person. So if the condition will be, of the shurut, so discussing also with understand the shurut, what are those criteria that one must fulfill for them to have the right for adana, for child custody. Of mention, you're excluded because of riq, and that will mean the person have to be hur, a free person. Aywa, next.
Disobedience. A defiantly disobedient person is not entrusted to the custody of a ward for fear that he may render harm to the ward by badly raising him/her according to the same level of evil manners.
So of those things regarding concerning al-hadana lil-fasik, so if a person is deemed to be a fasik regarding their deen and their character, so the person regarding that their deen and their character, that they seem to be of bad influence and of bad practices, then that will exclude them from being taking that being a custody of a child, from being a custody of a child because of their bad character and their bad practice of the deen. So that would disqualify someone from this. So it's more so looking at a person who have adala, a person who's like upright in their character and also in their faith. Aywa. Third.
Likewise, a disbeliever is not entitled to take a ward in custody, for he causes much harm to the ward by turning him/her away from Islam, by raising him/her according to the teachings and manners of disbelief. Moreover, the woman who is married to
so they mentioned regarding the third regarding al-kufr. So the person, a disbeliever, regarding a Muslim child, then no. So regarding a Muslim child, that they mention no on this matter. You have some of the ulama who can somewhat that this is the matter of the Hanabila, that are of the ulama who mention that the disbeliever cannot take custody of a Muslim child. Even they find concern of the Ahnaf that they mention that if you fear for that disbeliever, so if there's fear upon that disbeliever regarding that there will be bad influence and take that Muslim child down the wrong path, then no. But if you don't fear that they will misguide them, then they could serve as such. So some make for a male, some make a requirement that it has to be that Islam is required. That is for a female, then Islam is not required for a female child, for the person looking after them. They don't have to be a Muslim. Some of the Malikiyya, they mention that Islam is not a requirement. Some of the Malikiyya, they mention that Islam is not a requirement. So you have a khilaf between the ulama on this particular matter. Aywa.
Moreover, the woman who is married to someone who is not among the agnac relatives of the ward is not entitled to take the custody of the ward. This is because the Prophet ﷺ once said to a child's mother, "You have more right to him as long as you do not marry." This is because she is entirely devoted to her husband, who has the right to prevent her from looking after the ward. Thus, if the woman is married to someone from among her ward's relatives, she still has the right to the custody of the ward. However, if the aforementioned causes are eliminated, those who are prevented from having custody of a ward may take this right. To elaborate, if the slave is set free, the disobedient person repents, the disbeliever embraces Islam, or the remarried woman is divorced, then either of them will be entitled to take the custody of the ward. This is because there is no cause preventing taking it in such cases.
ايش؟ نعم. So شيخ ايوه. Alhamdulillah. So the Shaykh Hafidullah, Hafidullah, discussing concerning matters relating to hadana, but also discussing regarding what are some of those mawane that which would be of the shurut / mawane. So what are those criteria that a person who is going to have will be taking custody of the child? What are those things that they should have in place? So he mentioned also the thing that he mentioned that Islam. So of those would be the person have to be a Muslim, that will exclude a kafir. Also the person not being a fasik, that mean the person should be one who's just. Also he discussed concerning the person shouldn't be a riq, which the person shouldn't be a slave, but a person be one who's a free person. Also one who's disqualified or can be disqualified, that if the mother, if she have remarried, that goes into other discussion regarding that upon her getting married, at what point she disqualified? Is it upon her just mere and nikah, by just having acted nikah, by getting married, she become automatically disqualified? Or is it by she getting married and then having intimacy? So you have a discussion between the ulama at what point she become disqualified. They mention that is upon she just getting married, then she is disqualified. Also other conditions that are mentioned, that one, al-bulugh wal-aql. So the person who's going to take responsibility should be one who's above the age of puberty, an adult, and also of sound mind. And that's agreed upon between all the madhahib. So regarding the madhahib, that the person should be al-mukallif, who is above a mature person, and also of sound mind. Also discuss, added to this, they mention also the person should be of rushd, that a person should be mature and one who said to know that is sensible. Can make sensible decision. So of the person who is going to take this role of hadana, of looking after that child, they should be one who is somewhat mature and can make sensible decision. Now, that's the position taken by the shoot of the Maliki and the Shafi'iyya, that the person said to be safi, a person's like silly. Then they're not deserving to have responsibility over others. Also of the condition that some of the ulama have mentioned, that the person also shouldn't be who have an illness that they need to be cared for themselves. So the person has to know their illness, they're required to be cared for. So it becomes difficult for them to look after someone where they themselves need to be cared for. Or it could be a case that you mentioned, that the person above, that they're so in their age, they're so of that they have very mature age, where they themselves need to be cared for. So you might find that say so, the person themselves of an age that they could be a family member, but their age would be a mawane, would be of those things that would disbar them from looking after that child. Also they mention aman makan, that also the person that is looking after the child, that they should be in an area that is safe. So they should be in an area that is not per se that there's like war and those type of the thing where the safety, there's no safety that is there. So the person taking a responsibility should be in a place, live in a city that is somewhat safe for the child to move about, so their safety is in place, intact. And as they mentioned, regarding the person should be of the mahram, that if it's a male, there should be one who's a mahram for that child, especially concerning a girl, where they are allowed to, they can see the child with their head uncovered, or al-khalwa. So it shouldn't be a person who's a non-mahram. A non-mahram also is disqualified from this role more so regarding a female child. So these are the conditions that the ulama have laid down, some of these conditions. These are the conditions that they have put in place. Now, so that inshallah ta'ala will stop at this point for today. How much we have remained? A few more pages, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, so we stop there then. We stop here today inshallah and continue next week. بعون الله سبحانه وتعالى وبالله تعالى توفيق وهذه السبيل. أي the mother. A child out of wedlock, then that's the mother.
In the second part, where it mentions about the woman who remarries, it then makes an exception about if she marries someone from amongst a relative, meaning like a cousin, for example.
So if it's like a married person who's like of those group of people that is said to be like of the mahram for that child.
Then she can take it.
Then kind of somewhat it kind of aywa. So also they mention, for example, if that woman, for a case that she and her husband divorce and the child is with her, then she remarries. She remarried that wife who have the child remarried, then the child is moved on to another family member. As an example, the child went to live with the father. Then that mother, the child is still young, and she, after a few months, she's divorced. So she's divorced. And I divorce again. So now she's again what? Single. The child can go back to her. So she now becomes of those, so the child can go back to her because at this stage now she's again a divorcee. She has no husband. So the thing that can disqualify her is because of if she's remarried to someone, then she's busy with the affairs of her husband. So that makes you have to give sometimes less time to that child. So if she's single at any point, then she's more deserving of the child. At below 7. Aywa?
In that case, she gets divorced and the child is with someone else. How does she get the child back?
It does get the child back.
She just said, I want
Yeah, you understand? Yeah, because she becomes now the top of the list of the one that the child should remain with, because it's her child.
What if the person is better suited, like what you were saying earlier?
The person who has the child says no.
He's better suited to have the child.
Then if there's other factors that makes them better suited, the child may remain with them. You understand? So if there's maybe factors that may disqualify her, even though she is again single, but there may be other things that have changed in her life. You understand? So when she, in her second divorce that she has now, she lost her place. She herself, you understand, she's in a refuge, as we say. Right? Then because of those factors, it may be best for the child to remain where they are in a more stable environment. So that inshallah ta'ala will end and continue next week. Wabillahi ta'ala, tawfiq.